Okay guys, so before we get going, I want to thank all you guys for attending this afternoon. Started and I'll introduce some people, all of us in this moment. Is everybody okay with the noise level? Does anybody want to relocate to an inside location? Because I could probably arrange that in 10 minutes.
No, we're good here. Good.
So my name is Corporal Gerson, Corporal Jay Gerson. I'm the McBride RCMP detachment. With me today I have members of the local search and rescue of Rod Welton, who is a SAR manager, search and rescue manager. Dale Mason, also search and rescue manager. And Chris Gibbs, again, search and rescue manager. Also have Village McBride Mayor, Lorraine Martin. And I can provide everybody with proper spellings for those things. All the agencies will provide an update at the end of this with questions if you have them. I've talked to each group and they've agreed they don't particularly want to give a statement, but they are open to some questions. We'll take some questions at the end of this update, and then we'll break off. Return to our duties, and you guys can send out your stuff. There's a hard copy news release that's been posted online, and any subsequent requests for clarification can be directed to Corporal Dan Moskowik following this presser. All right, so is everybody prepared? All right. I apologize for reading from a bit of a script. So the avalanche was reported Friday afternoon at around 1:30. The report was by a spot locator, which is a GPS beacon. There was two activations, separate activations. Local search and rescue team was activated to the Renshaw recreational area along with helicopters. For the update today, the McBride RCMP along with the Robson Valley Search and Rescue team have completed the search and rescue efforts following Friday's avalanche incident. All searches were completed yesterday. We confirmed that we have 5 fatalities as a result of this incident. The men range from their early 40s to early 60s, and we're all from Alberta. The next kin notifications have been completed. The McBride RCMP will continue to assist the BC Coroner Service with their investigation into the death of the 5 men. All snowmobilers affected were accounted for prior to the termination of the rescue efforts on Friday. No further search efforts have been deemed necessary at this time. In total, 4 separate groups of snowmobilers with a total of 17 people were involved. All people were either buried to some degree or caught in the avalanche path. At least one other person was injured with a non-life-threatening injury. A total of 11 persons plus the remains of the deceased were flown out at the time of the rescue efforts. With the assistance of the local helicopter operators, Climb Helicopters and Yellowhead, they were removed. Both machines were available at the time and offered immediate assistance to us. The McBride RCMP will continue to assist the BC Coroner Service with their investigation. The McBride RCMP offers our condolences to the families of the affected by this incident. The families have requested that the media respect their privacy at this time. I've been in contact with the Village of McBride Mayor, Lorraine Martin, as well as many local citizens who would also like to express their condolences to the families in this time of loss. Again, we are appreciative and thankful for our local SAR volunteers and technicians for all those who provided assistance in this rescue and recovery. I've spoken to the SAR searchers that were present. Mr. Rod Welton was present searching yesterday, and he's asked that I give brief details of the search efforts. As I understand the incident, the multiple groups were snowmobiling in the area of Renshaw Mountain, and Mr. Welton was on personal business in the area with 7 other individuals, one of which was also a SAR volunteer. Mr. Welton's personal snowmobile had a mechanical failure, and he had called for a helicopter to assist him. Other members of his party went to a ridge nearby and found an avalanche that had just occurred. A satellite phone was used to contact Dale Mason, who at that time was receiving activation from the McBride RCMP via the 2-spot locator beacons. A second helicopter was being requested. The helicopters were very quick on scene. Mr. Welton attended with his group and found that many of the individuals involved had self-rescued, and 4 of the deceased had already been dug from the snow. The 5th was located and removed as well. As I said, the helicopters attended quickly. All persons were accounted for. As I said, there was 4 separate groups. Mr. Welton and his group identified that there was no outstanding snowmobilers. No further people were missing or deceased. And all persons were either removed by the helicopters or made their way off the hill. People, my officers at this detachment, were in attendance with all the survivors and the deceased when they landed in McBride Airport and took conduct of the investigation. BC Coroner's Office was advised and attended. And at this point, this is a coroner's investigation, and the RCMP will continue to assist. This time I'd like to open it up for a few questions if you have any. And as I said, I believe that people present are able to answer some questions. I'm sorry?
Where in Alberta are the victims from?
At this time, the RCMP is not releasing the identities and communities these victims are from. The Coroner's Office, BC Coroner's Office, will be doing a separate press release, and it is their jurisdiction to release the identities of the persons involved.
So just to clarify, we hadn't heard about this avalanche until we basically stumbled upon it, right?
We received 2 spot activations
Before.
just prior. We don't have exact timing, but it certainly looks to us after investigation and speaking to all involved, there was a very quick attendance by Mr. Welton and his group immediately after the avalanche.
At this point, what do you believe caused the avalanche?
I cannot speak to cause of the avalanche right now. I am aware that the BC Coroner's Office is arranging for examination of the area. I can't speak to the cause.
One of our
describe
search
what you saw when you arrived on the scene?
Just a large avalanche. It was just 700 meters across and approximately 700-800 meters long. That's all I see with a bunch of people around.
And were all the snowmobilers buried at that time?
No. There was people in different groups digging other people out.
Had you ever seen anything like that before?
Not in this magnitude.
How prepared were these people? Did they have the right equipment on them?
They were very prepared.
Describe a little more of the rescue efforts. Stand a little more.
What would you like to hear?
What did you see? Were they digging seriously? Were they probing? How many people were around? Things like that.
There was quite a few people around, and everybody's doing a very good job digging out their own groups. It was fast, simple. Everybody did the right thing. That's all I can say. Very calm. Everybody was very skilled.
Do you think had you not been in that area, would there have been a very different outcome?
Possible. I believe that the helicopters and the search and rescue crew that joined us was very helpful, and that's the only reason we got them out so fast.
Do you have any idea why they would have gone in that day if there was still a high risk of danger?
Was it high?
That's what the Avalanche Center has been reporting. Is that incorrect?
I believe it was only considerable. I went in myself believing it was a very safe, good area. I was out for fun myself. There was no avalanche activity in every area that I was playing around and in there myself. That's the only one I seen.
So is it your belief that anybody would have thought that they would be okay going in that day? Was it sort of like a normal day?
It was very much a normal day, nice day.
Did the witnesses say whether they heard anything or was it just all of a sudden? Was it cracked or did it just go?
I don't know.
Has there been any indication that they were high marking?
I don't know that myself, to be honest with you.
I think you might be getting some questions that are more along the lines of the coroner's investigation. They may be able to provide you with those answers when they make their rules.
Just to clarify, how close were you exactly to the slide when it happened that you were able to get there so quickly?
My snowmobile broke down, but I'm going to guess, this is a guesstimation of about 400 or 500 yards away from it.
Can you talk about what this does for your community when you see a tragedy like this? And lots of you go snowmobiling around
I guess I'll speak for that. This community is very supportive and welcoming of snowmobilers. We rely on these people to enjoy our community. We have people attend the area from all over the world. We develop relationships with them. We see the same people repeatedly because it's a beautiful spot to come and they're welcome here and they enjoy the area. This kind of thing affects local citizens. I've had outpourings of support. We just had a lady call up, say she made a bowl of chili for everybody if they need. There's a lot of support.
From what province were the other individuals in the 4 different groups from? Like, were they all from Alberta, NBC, other provinces?
I believe they're all from Alberta.
Are they all from the same community? Do you know that?
See, you want to identify the communities they come from. At this time, it's safe to say they're all from Alberta, various parts, and I believe the coroner's office will be releasing the details.
How are each of these groups, these separate groups, related, if at all?
I don't believe they weren't related. Snowmobilers in this area enjoy a vast region. They do return into the community and the community of Belmont. They do socialize together. I am aware that there's other people currently enjoying the area, snowmobiling, that new persons in these parties. I've been informed that this is unusual, that there would be so many people gathered in one area. This is a rather remote area. You wouldn't commonly see 20 snowmobilers in this small area at one time. We're speaking of a vast recreational area.
Can you speak to the injuries of the other people involved?
No.
Critical, minor?
As I said earlier, it's non-threatening, non-life-threatening.
Are any individuals still in hospital, or have they all been released?
Not to my knowledge.
So not to your knowledge
Not to my knowledge.
that they're in hospital?
I'm not aware if anybody's currently in hospital. I believe all care has been given.
How experienced would you say the individuals were who were out there?
It's my understanding they're very experienced and prepared.
Just to the search